Hello guys, I am Satyam and you are here on our one and all lovely channel Satyam IJ Learning. And guys, today we will be discussing about ecological relationship. And in this topic we will be discussing about predation, symbiosis, parasitism, mutualism, commensalism and competition. Okay, so these are the topics we will be discussing. At the very first, what is ecological relationship? You know that some organisms are dependent on each other for food, camouflage, shelter. No, so organisms are dependent on each other for these substances and they form certain specific relationship with other organisms, and that relationship is known as ecological relationship. Okay, so clear about the ecological relationship? So organisms form certain relationship because they are dependent on other organisms for food, shelter. No, so they form certain relationship, and that relationship which are formed by the organisms with other organisms is called ecological relationship. I think this must be clear to all of you. Now, in the ecological relationship, there are certain parts. Okay, in the ecological relationship, there are certain parts. So it is divided into mainly three parts: predation, symbiosis, and competition. Okay, predation, symbiosis, and competition. In the symbiosis part, it has been further divided into three parts: parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. Okay, so it has been divided into three parts: parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. And you don't worry, we will be discussing about the examples also. Okay, at the very first, predation. Now what happens in this predation? In this relationship, predator kills and eat prey. Now what is predator? The animals that eat and kill other animals are known as predators. Okay, so those animals that kill and eat other animals are known as predator. And whom they eat? The predator eat their prey. So prey are those animals. Prey are those animals which are being eaten by the predator. Okay, like predator, what comes in the predator? Like snakes, hawk, eagle, tiger, this comes in the predator. And what comes in prey? The small animals. Okay, the small insects, these come in prey. So predator and prey, it is clear. So in predation, it is the kind of relationship in which what happens? Predator kills and eat prey. Okay, an animal can be a predator to its prey. Now listen very carefully, guys. An animal can be a predator to its prey. So like a snake. Snake is the predator to its prey, frog. Okay, so the frog is the prey and the predator is the snake. I'm just giving an example. Okay, so the predator is snake and the prey is the frog. I'm just giving an example. Clear this thing? So an animal can be a predator to its prey, yet itself be a prey to higher predator. Like see, in snake and frog, who is the predator? Snake is the predator. And now who is the prey? Frog is the prey. So if the snake is the predator to its prey, frog, then the snake will be a prey to its predator, eagle or hawk. Okay, that is only written this: an animal can be a predator to its prey, yet itself be a prey to a higher predator. So the higher predator of the snake is hawk or eagle. No, I think this must be clear to all of you guys. So the predation portion is over. Now we will be coming on the symbiosis. Now, what is symbiosis relationship? The relationship between two organisms of different species. Now listen carefully, guys. The relationship between two organisms of different species living in close association with each other, that kind of relationship is called symbiosis. Okay, so the relation between two organisms of different species living in close association with each other is called what? Symbiosis. Now symbiosis is being divided into three parts: parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. Okay, parasitism, mutualism, and commensalism. Now we will be discussing about these three things in detail. Now, what is parasitism? At the very first, it affects one of the organism. Okay, in this parasitism relationship, what happens? It affects one of the organism negatively. Okay, it affects one of the organism negatively, while the other organism benefit from the relationship. For example, two organisms are there. So one of them will be affected negatively and the other will be benefited in this relationship. Okay, I think this must to be clear to all of you that what is the definition. Now, you know what are parasites? Parasites are the organisms which live on the host and harm the host. No? I am right now? Parasites are those organisms that live on the host, in the body of the host or on the body of the host, and they harm the host. They take nutrition. They are being benefited by the host, but they harm the host. Okay, I think this must to be clear to all of you guys that what are parasites and what is the host. Okay, now we will be taking one of the example. Before taking the example, I want to tell you something. Ectoparasite and endoparasite. Now what are these two terms? Ectoparasite. So those parasites which live on the body of the host are known as ectoparasite. Okay, so the parasites which live on the body of the host are known as ectoparasite, and endoparasites are those parasites which live in the body of the host, like the tapeworm. Tapeworm lives in the human intestine. No, it lives in the human intestine. Okay, so endoparasite, the example is tapeworm. And the parasite's example is dodder also. Okay, dodder, not deodor, dodder. Now, I want to give some of the examples of the relationship in the parasites. Okay, let's see about the cuckoo. Now, what happens? There are some of the species of the cuckoo which go into the nest of other birds and lay the eggs. And now what happens in the eggs? The chicks will be hatch out. No, the chicks will be come out from the eggs. And what they will do? The chicks will push the other eggs and other chicks of the nest. This is how they are harming the offspring of the other bird. Okay, this is an example of the parasitism relationship. Okay, now we'll be coming on mutualism. Now what is mutualism? It benefits both organisms in the relationship. In this kind of relationship, both the organisms are being benefited. In the previous one, in the parasitism, what we have learned, that only one organism is being benefited and the other organism is being harmed. No? So, in the mutualism, it benefits both organisms in the relationship. I think this must be clear about the definition of the mutualism. No, I'm just giving an example so that you can be just crystal clear in your mind. With the examples, you must be the crystal clear. Now see, in plants you already know that there are nitrogen fixing bacteria are there. Rhizobium, nitrogen fixing bacteria are these. Rhizobium lives in the leguminous plants. Now what are leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are those plants in which the seeds of the plants are in their pods. Okay, so when the seeds are in the pods, that plant is called the leguminous plant. Okay, so in the leguminous plants, the seeds are in the pods. Okay, I'm just writing also pods. Okay, seeds are in the pods. That is known as leguminous plants. And in the leguminous plants, there are rhizobium. Rhizobium are the nitrogen fixing bacteria. Rhizobium forms nodules in the roots of these leguminous plants, and they convert the nitrogen of the air into ammonia, and then the plant convert the ammonia into the amino acids that is soluble, that can be taken by the plant easily, and then the amino acids will go in the plant body, and then it will be utilized, and then it will be stored also. So bacteria is helping in the protein synthesis in the plant. Now how the plant is helping that bacteria? It is giving the nutrition to that bacteria. Okay, so this is a kind of mutualism. It is a kind of relationship. Mutualism, relationship. Now I want to give one more example about the clownfish and the sea anemones. You know sea anemones? Sea anemones come in the category of Cnidaria. We have studied, no? In the kingdom Animalia, we have studied about the Cnidarians, no? Phylum Cnidarians, sorry. Now, in Cnidarians, it comes the sea anemones. Okay, sea anemones is just an example. And you already know that the Cnidarians have cnidocytes. They have cnidocytes. Cnidocytes are the stinging cells. Okay, so now what the relationship is between the clownfish and the Cnidarians? It is it means that the sea anemones. Okay, so the relationship between the clownfish and the sea anemone is that, see, the clownfish at the very first, the sea anemones will provide protection to the clownfish. Okay, so the sea anemones will provide protection to the clownfish with the help of the stinging cells. Okay, cnidocytes. Clear this thing? And now what they will do, what the clownfish will do? Clownfish will provide the nutrition, because the fecal matter of the clownfish makes nutrition for the sea anemones. Okay, and it also provides the protection to the sea anemones with other creatures, with other marine creatures. Okay, now we will be coming on the commensalism. So we have already discussed parasitism and mutualism. Now coming on the commensalism. It is a relationship in which commensals benefits from the host. Okay, so commensals are organisms which come in the relationship of commensalism, and these organisms benefit from their host. Now see, is neither benefited nor harmed by the relationship. Now what happens, guys? The commensals benefits from the host. Now the commensals are being benefited by the host, but the host is neither benefited nor harmed by the relationship. Okay, by the relationship, the host is neither being harmed nor being benefited, but the commensals are being benefited. Okay, I am giving you an example in the marine creatures. Remoras are small fishes which attach to the body of the large fish, okay, like the sharks, okay. So the remoras attach to the body of the large fishes like the sharks, and then what they will do, they will take the leftover meal of that animal, okay. So the remoras will take the leftover meal of that shark or that animal, okay, creature. And now they also get nutrition from the fecal matter of that organism on which the remoras are being attached. Clear this thing? And the host is also providing them protection, and it is also giving them traveling, okay. So the host travels and they are attached, the remoras are attached to the body of the host, so they are also traveling. So host is providing traveling as well as protection to the remoras, okay. And remoras are marine creatures. Now see, now we will be coming on the competition. Before coming on the competition, I want to give one more example of the commensalism. Epiphytes, you know, epiphytes. Now I am telling. See, epiphytes are the plants which are being attached to the trunk of a tree, okay. They go and attach to a trunk of the tree, but they do not take nutrition from that trunk of the tree. What they do, they attach to the trunk of the tree so that they can access the sunlight, okay, so that they can access the sunlight and moisture from the air. That is why they are attached to the trunk of the tree, and they do not harm the tree, nor they make benefit the host, okay. So the host is nor being benefited nor being harmed, but the epiphytes, but the commensal is being benefit, okay. I think this must be clear to all of you guys about the commensalism. Clear now? Now we will coming on the competition. Now what is competition? In a simple language, we do various competition, we participate in those competition, and some have victory, some may lose it also, okay. See, in competition what happens, organisms compete with each other for various resources such as food, water, light, etc. Now see, what are the organisms are doing in the competition relationship? Organisms compete with each other for various resources such as food, water, light, etc. In animals, there is the competition between the organisms for food, shelter, and also for the mate for reproduction, okay. And in the plants, there is the competition in between the organisms of the same species also, or sorry, or may of the different species also, okay. So in plants also there are competition in between them for the sunlight, for the minerals, okay. So there are competition in between them. It may be intra-specific and inter-specific. Now what is the meaning of the intra-specific and what is the meaning of inter-specific? At the very first, we will be discussing about the intra-specific. See, the competition between the organisms of the same species. Listen carefully. The competition between the organisms of the same species is called intraspecific. Okay. And the competition of the organisms of the different species is called interspecific. I think this must to be clear all of you guys. So the competition in this, it is clear now? All of you? Give the like. Hit the like button. Okay. So in this competition, it was over guys. Okay. So this was about the competition. And I want to tell you about one example also. In plants, you know, if there are many plants, it can be the competition of the same species or it can be the competition of the different species. Like plants compete with each other for the water, minerals, for the access of the sunlight. Okay, so they compete with each other, and the weaker plant may die also, and the stronger one can win also. Okay, so this is how plants compete. I'm just giving an example. Okay, now we have completed the ecological relationship, guys. So bye bye, and we'll meet in the next time very soon.